Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to have a blueprint showcase. For today's video, we're going to take one of my rail blueprints and combine them with one of my road blueprints. And this new blueprint I'm going to call a railroad. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Like and subscribe. Right everybody, as you can see, I'm obviously here in my creative world, which is why I've got no broadcast and flying and all that. And if you look over there, you can see all of my blueprint makers where I'm actually making all of these blueprints. So anyways, moving on. Let's put down one of my straight sections, because that's obviously where you usually start. I'll put this one down. I just want to show you guys a couple of things and a couple of reasons why I made certain choices when it comes to these blueprints. As you can see, these ones are fairly chunky. So they are going to cost a fair amount when it comes to resources, so just make sure that you either max out your storage or just grab a bunch of blueprints before you start building these, because they're going to be pricey. But anyways, so starting from the top, you'll see I've got these little lights on here. So it's going to be green on the one side and red on the other side. And the reason I did that is, if you look over here, for instance, you can see these ones. That just indicates the way the traffic is going to go, whether it be the rails or whether it be the roads. They're all going to have the same concept at least. So on the side you'll see the green, so that's for that kind of traffic going this way, and on the side you'll see the red. If you look the other way, it's going to be green, and that's for traffic going that way, of course. So looking at the road sections, you got the exact same story here. So it will be green on the right side, showing traffic indication or indicating the direction of traffic, and then this side as well. And they've got the red and the green. So that's a nice little touch I had in there, because the thing is, I didn't want any road markings on here, because I'm going for a bit more of a kind of like futuristic, kind of like sleek look. I was trying to do away with the normal things like road markings and arrows and painted lines and all that kind of thing, which is also why I swapped out the painted lines here for signs. So you'll see the middle one isn't as bright as the other ones, and I just found that if you make the middle one as bright, it just becomes a little bit too much. This one here is quite bright to give us a maximum amount of illumination. So if we switch it to nighttime, so let's go where it's nice and dark, like over here. I'll switch off my light. You can see these ones glow quite a bit, and they give us a fair amount of ambient light. You can see it reflecting off here on the top. And then you've got the top ones, which is obviously there for decoration. So if we go and look at this guy, you can see these guys, you can see them for miles and miles. And you can even see the road back there. Also you can see it for ages. And just continues on. The nice little added bonus is I don't need one of these, because these signs will basically do the same job. And some of my earlier versions did have the street light in them, but it just looked a little bit awkward, and it just didn't work for me. So I rather went with this kind of like stripped down version of it, where you've got the signs in here that access your road markings and gives you more versatility, and you can place them down. And also you'll notice that this one, if I go, you can see I've kind of countersunk them a little bit, so they don't stick out at all. And I just think that's kind of a nice touch. So while we're down here, this little section here, all the roads, if you look over there, you can see even those, the inclines, the declines, every single one of them, including the circle there, they've all got this cavity at the bottom of the road section. And this is for two main reasons. So the first one is you can run power down here if you like. So I know that the rails will obviously transmit power, but whenever you want to tap off that power from the rail, you have to build the train station. And sometimes you don't want to build a train station out nowhere, but you do want a branch of power. So you can just run power along on these segments, and you can just fly along the bottom, and you've got easy access to power. The other reason why I added these in is when I do fuel stations along the way, especially for the longer roads, you can maybe add, like I say, a Mark IV or whatever it might be. You can add these guys. There's plenty of room for it. I mean, you can add, what's this, one? You can probably add 1, 2, at least 6 lines in here if you want to. Me personally, I'm just going to add one line going one way, most likely. And this one will have fuel on it, which will then fuel all the fuel stations that I'll be adding along the road as I go. Because I am planning on circling the entire region with this blueprint eventually. That's pretty much it for this straight section here. And if you want to use this one, so let's this one's a little skew, but I'm going to play off it anyways. You can take this one and you can attach it to the other one via Blueprint Connect. And what you'll also notice, I don't have rails added into this, and there's a very specific reason for that. And I'll show you later when we start doing the curve going up to the maybe we'll go to the right, is once you start doing the curves, the auto connect doesn't work too nice with the curved inclines and declines. It works perfectly fine when it comes to just straight declines, inclines, or you can even, not even with the normal curves, you can't even do it then. It just doesn't go as smooth as you would like it to be. So manually placing them is going to give you much better results. So when it comes to any of the other blueprints, you're going to have to place them all manually just to make sure that the curved sections work as nice as they can, because these are all not right curves. I mean, these are all 5 degrees, 4, 3, 2, 1, and even the 0.5 degree curves, which might seem redundant, but once you actually see them placed, remember they do stack. So if you put down one, actually let's quickly do this. So if you take, for instance, this 0.51 and you place it down, it's not 0.5 in total for all of them. The degree of turning is per foundation, so you're going to have 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5. So this section is actually a 2 degree turn. Now if you look at my actual 2 degree turn, again, like I said, this shows the turn per foundation, not the cumulative turn of the entire blueprint. This one is the 2 degree turn, but it's actually going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foundations. So this is a 10 degree turn at the end of the day for the entire blueprint. So let's see how we place these together. So we're going to go blueprints, and for this one I want to go, obviously because I placed it a little skew here, we're going to go left and then right. So let's go blueprints, and I'm going to go left. So usually what I do is I kind of like pick whichever one. After a while you kind of get a feel for which ones work best. And in my experience, the ones that work the best is go with the least amount of curvature that you can get away with. That's going to give you the best result. So the way that I place these is I look at the edge of the foundation. Don't look at the edge of the beam or the pillar. Make sure it's the foundation, which is why I'm using foundations, just to keep it consistent. Lock it in. And then from here, with the arrow facing you, just nudge this bad boy into position. And you'll see, oh, I need to go way more down. There we go. And the way that these ones are designed is if you turn left, you want the right-hand corner to nudge to this point here. This is where you focus on. This needs to line up. So if you place it down in there, you'll see all the other ones kind of like fall into position, as long as your outer corner matches up with whatever you're putting it against. So there we go, 2 degrees, turn to the left, and then you'll see everything else will line up. So since we want to now curve up and to the right there, first thing you want to do is you don't want to just go and add the incline. So I'm looking for incline curves, let's say right hand side, incline curve right, 2 degrees. You don't want to just slap this one together here, because, so arrow towards me, page down, because this is going to give you a very weird kind of like connection. So as you can see that this is how they used to be, but I've made little connected pieces to avoid that kind of like jarring like angular connection. I want it a bit smoother. So we're going to go over to the straight section. I'm going to go from flat to 2 meter. So for these combination ones, I only did 2 meter inclines and not the 4 meter ramp inclines, just because they're a little bit too severe, and to make everything work together, it's not going to work. So for this one, obviously you see it needs to go the other way around. So this one will probably be the exception when it comes to the little arrow section that I use for reference. And there's only 2 of them, so I'm sure you guys will manage. So this one should just line up perfectly. There we go. And you'll see as soon as it touches, then we're golden. So we'll place this guy in, and I'll show you what I mean by the smooth incline. So I've added actually a bunch of pillars in here that I try to blend as best as I can, and this will give you much more of a smoother intake as opposed to just having it like very angular. And on this side, I changed the foundations out for these cross beams, just to give this also a bit more of a smoother incline. Right, so now that we've got the incline, now we can start going right. Incline right curve. Now sometimes you'll see this happens. If this happens, it just means that it wasn't placed correctly. So if you can't get it to line up, you just have to do it again. Alright, so let's get this guy to line up. I'm going to do on the road. So we want to have the left hand side. There we go. Needs to line up. So usually what I do is I'll go in the middle, just because if you grab this guy, I'm actually gonna, let's switch over to a 2-degree right hand turn. There we go. If you do the road, you get a much cleaner connection point, and it's also a lot easier to nudge them down because they're already about halfway down. So I would recommend stick to the road and nudge them from the middle of the foundation as opposed to on top like I did earlier. So from here we can just continue right. So I'm going to do a couple more and I'll show you what the result looks like afterwards. Alright, so we've done a couple now. So you can see we had a left turn and then a right turn. And then we went from 1 degrees, which are these, to 2 degrees over here. You can see there's the last one actually being built now. We've got a pretty clean curve going all the way up. Now, unfortunately, there is absolutely nothing you can do about these ridges. That's just unfortunate limitation with the game and the buildables that we have. If this really bothers you, something that you can do, but you're gonna have to do this manually every time, is go to 2-meter ramp, and you can place these guys in here, and they can negate that a little bit. And I've tried to work this into the blueprint, but unfortunately there is some limitations where this just kind of like messes with the placement, so it makes it a little tricky to do. You'll still have the little bumps, but at least now it looks a little bit better. So you can do that if you like. I didn't include it because it creates a little havoc when it comes to the little tunnel section, the little cavity at the bottom. Anyway, so once you've done here, so let's say we want to now level it off and then take a left-hand turn. Now to do that, unfortunately the only way to do that is to go to the straight section, and you want to go 2 meter to flat. So by 2 meter I mean the 2-meter ramp. So you can see this one is one of the discrepancy ones, where if you place this one down and you line up the foundations, which is exactly what you should do, you'll see that there's a little bit of a gap here. And the reason there's a gap here is that when you place the blueprints, to get these to link up nicely, I had to kind of like maneuver them a little bit. So you can see this one is actually a little bit back, that section, compared to the way the foundation ends. That is why you've got this little gap in here. And from here, you'll just have to do a little bit of manual labor. And there you go. Now you've got a seamless joint here, so unfortunately you're going to have to do it up there as well. But that's only for when you go from something like, if you do all 2-meter ups, that's all going to be fine. But as soon as you change it to like a connector piece, then it might cause some issues. So let's go with the left-hand turn. So, but those ones are mainly an issue for the curved, for the incline and decline curves. So let's say we'll go with 1 degree. Oh, we need to go left. Hold on. Blueprints. Left, we'll choose this one for instance. Again, arrow towards you, and then since we're turning to the left, focus on the right hand side. These ones are the easier ones to do. They'll link up quite nicely and they play nicely with each other, but the incline ones are, as most of you guys will know, the incline ones are always the ones that's really tricky to do. Okay, this is looking good. You know what, let's continue the turn. There we go. So obviously we're going to need some support for these guys. So this is obviously an elevated freeway. So I'm going to grab the support bit. And what I normally do is I'll go supported right below this like rib section here. So this one is designed to easily snap to the bottom. So you just need to look at the foundations. So all the foundations from left to right or right to left will all be in line. So all you need to do is just kind of like focus on the middle one. Oh wait, I've got it on a shortcut here. There we go. So you can see this foundation, it's got like a little flat bit on top. That's meant to snap to the other foundation at the bottom. So once you take this up and nudge it across, you'll see you'll get it with a couple of nudges perfectly aligned. Let's wait for this one to finish up. There we go. So you can see these are designed to kind of like work together. So let's say you want to have the rail now go to the left and have the road go to the right. In my other blueprints that it's also now on my Patreon, I release these all at the same time. You can go to road version 4W, so the white one. So we're going to go, let's go left and we'll continue with the road. Actually, no, let's take the road to the right. So I think just to make this look a bit more interesting, we're going to go, I want to do straight on this one. So we're going to have to do default. So these one will snap exactly the same as the rails will do. So you can see these ones are designed to work together. And from here, we want to say, for instance, we want to go to the right hand side. So let's say road 5 degrees right. Like I said, normally what I'll do is I'll try and do the increment. So I'll start with say 1 degree, maybe go to 3 and then to 5 or something like that. Whatever combination works for you, because obviously your circumstances and location of where you place them might dictate that you have to be a bit more harsh when it comes to curves. But generally speaking, shallow curves are going to look the best. So there we go. So the road section has been added onto it. So let's say the rail we want to now take to the left for whatever reason. In my Patreon, you'll see we have rail V5. So I'm going to do rail V5. Let's do left curve aggressive 5 degrees. There we go. So again, aim for the edge of the foundation, lock it in, and just nudge this guy in position. This is correct. For a moment, I thought it was the other way around. There we go. And let's wait for this one to finish. So go onto the edge, arrow towards you, lock it in, nudge it into position. Right, this one is being weird again. This is like the nudge bug. So if you encounter it, just redo it. There we go. It seems to be, this bug seems to be when you try to place something, don't move your character until you've locked it into position. Because it seems to affect the orientation of the blueprint. Alright, so there you see, we can easily kind of like separate these ones from each other. And then for supports, I'll still use this one for the road, because obviously that's going to work perfectly fine. I'll quickly get this guy into position if I can. There we go. And then for this guy, I'll go to rail V4 support. They've got their own little support, or rail V5, sorry. This is going to be the standard one top. And again, this one is designed to kind of like just slap in there. I think this one needs to turn this way. So nudges in one, there we go. And you see this one, you can just nudge down and up to that point. It's going to slot in there perfectly. I'm going to do one more just to demonstrate it more. And there we go. We can separate these guys. And you can end up like that. So that is why I did combine these two rails into this one section, is so that you can do this kind of thing. And if you're really clever and very patient, you can actually link them back up together, and you can then resume with the railroad combo. And that's it for this blueprint showcase. Thank you for your time. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you'd like to grab this blueprint and the road V4, the white one, as well as the rail V5, which is basically the combination of both of those, is this blueprint I showcased today. All of those can be found on my Patreon. So just before we go, as usual, I'd like to thank my patrons for their continued support, as their support is what allows me the time to be able to make these kind of blueprints. And in the future, I'll be definitely bringing you a lot more of these kind of things. Anyways, guys, that's it from my side, and I'll see you on the next one.